So I'd come out here and throw out my Throwback Thursday for today. My Throwback Thursday goes like this. This is a great story, so just listen to it and don't ask any damn questions. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. You can ask anything you want. But we were sitting around it was me, my grandma, my dad. Oh, God, I want to say my aunt. No, my Aunt Brenda wasn't there. So it was just my grandma, me, my dad, my mom. I think that was it. And no, my grandpa was there too, but my grandpa wasn't sitting at the table. I think he was doing something. This is the night before she passed away. We were eating a steak. I think it was Swiss steak. My grandpa had this recipe for Swiss steak that would kill you. Anyway, well, it wouldn't kill you like that, but it was really good. And we went over there to eat some Swiss steak and enjoy, my grandma being home from the hospital and everything. I was sitting around talking about airplanes. Something just got me interested in them. I watched something on TV about them. I believe it was a Days of Our Lives episode where John Black sort of loses his memory, but it was his jet everybody was in. And they were on their way back from the events that took place where Stefano had sent him to kill his mother, Colleen Brady, who had been over in Ireland. Anyway, long story short, the airplane was going to hell. Somebody pierced the fuselage, which is the part of the plane that everybody's inside of. And if you pierce the fuselage of a plane, the cabin pressure drops. So I started asking my dad a bunch of... That's who else was there, too. My dad was there. And I started asking a bunch of questions. I don't know. I just got curious for a minute about airplanes. My grandma's comment was, "Jerry, what has got you so interested in airplanes?" And my comment was, "I don't know," because I wasn't going to admit the fact that I used to watch the soap opera Days of Our Lives because, guys ain't supposed to watch soap operas kind of thing. Anyway, well, I'll admit to it now because I don't watch it anymore. I do other things in my life and don't have the time to watch it. And it's changed so much since I have watched it that I don't even know who's who anymore. And don't care. But my point is, great times. I had gotten some chocolate-covered cherries. These were a certain type of chocolate-covered cherries. They had some sort of alcohol in them, I think. My dad got them for me. Because it was about right around Valentine's Day when this happened. So they had gotten a chance to get them. And I loved them. I ate them and ate them and ate them. And I remember that night going home and listening to Eddie Stubbs, who is a well-known broadcaster in the country music community. He was broadcasting a show with Marty Stewart and Connie Smith that night. One of the many times they did a show together. And I remember that they played Candy Kisses by George Morgan, I believe is who it's by. They were playing Candy Kisses, and I was enjoying that. Just loving it. I guess, hanging out, loving to watch it, or to listen to it. And I was actually eating candy. Believe it or not, I was eating Candy Kisses because we had gotten some of those too, and they also had the same thing. And they were very cherry flavored. I remember them being like really bad cherry flavored, so I put them aside. Well, that was back when my computer was in my bedroom, back at the old place on 13. And it was a nice place. It really was. I liked it. And, I liked the way that it was set up anyway. But I don't want to do that no more because I have the ability to use a basement. And everything's out of my way. Anyway, my point is that the computer was in my bedroom, so I was going to go on the air. And I started the program up, and I'm not Irish, but I have some Irish tracks that I like to listen to. Well, somehow the computer found a couple of these tracks on my station playlist creator software, and it scheduled them at a specific time of the day. It was about 9 o'clock. And this song came on. It was by the Navigators, and it's called Days Gone By. It's a Christmas song, or supposed to be. But there's a line in it that stuck with me all through that whole time. And it's called, and the line goes, "May those days never trickle from your mind." This day has never trickled from my mind, because after that song played, I got a really bad phone call from my Uncle Gavin, and he told me that my grandma was in the hospital, that she was headed to the hospital right now and she couldn't breathe. Scared the hell out of me. And I said, okay, I'm on my way, or I'm going to try to be. I turned on my police scanner to get another shock. I heard the status update come across the police scanner that my grandmother was in. So I knew by them telling me what was going on that she wasn't going to make it. Something just told me by listening to that update that, she wasn't going to make it. That happened on a Thursday morning. The other event happened on a Wednesday night. And it was, I remember my grandma saying, "I'm not going to go through that fucking surgery again." And I'll be damned if she wasn't bullshitting. She didn't have to go to another surgery again. She knew she wasn't going to go through the other surgery again. She just didn't know why. Oh boy. Well, may those days never trickle from your mind. Those days that you have to spend with people, because someday they're going to be gone. And you're never going to see them ever again. And do you know that on the day my grandmother had her funeral, they aired the funeral for the plane crash victims on days? It was the most weirdest thing I've ever saw. And I still remember it. Because we came home and we watched them. And I remember thinking to myself, didn't we just go through this a few minutes ago? Anyway, I'll tell a quick thing and then I'm going to let go of this and save it, I guess, or do whatever. But the one thing that I remember the most about the funeral is touching my grandma's hands. My grandma, when I would touch her hands, I knew I was going to be okay. And I knew things was going to work out okay. Well, and I used to hold her hands when I was scared. I was little too, so walking up and touching her hands scared the hell out of me because the rigor mortis kicked in and set in by that time, and she was embalmed. I remember feeling outraged, just outraged that her hands had changed, and she had changed, and something's wrong, you know. I remember that. I remember being so outraged, so mad, so angry, so, I don't know, pissed off at everything around me. So bad that I couldn't even stand to be around the funeral at all. I remember going outside. I remember trying to get down into the commons area where I was by myself or whatever. I remember that. And I remember being scared to go back in there. Just, I knew something was going to change my life. And this did. And that's my Throwback Thursday for the day. Have a good day.